The greatest week of all time is going to be continuing. I've been to the Toy Fair on Sunday, I've been commentating on the Pro Tour, and now myself and Zach are going to film another vlog, but this time we're off to Wrestlemania. We went last year in Las Vegas, and we had an exceptional time. Can it be topped? I doubt it. It was probably the best week of my life, but we're going to give it a go, and we did everything. So we're going to try mixing it up this year and do a couple of different things. But first of all, it is a long flight across, and it's 14 hours. We've got a connecting flight over in Denver, so a lot of time to try and kill. Now, I'm someone on the plane who really struggles to sleep, so we've got to try and fill the time with entertainment, while Zach has no issue in regards to the sleep. Great view from the hotel this year. We are on the 20th floor, and we are looking across to the Allegiant Stadium, the home of Wrestlemania. But we couldn't stay in for long. We've been up all day and night, so a quick nip out and a bite to eat. Now, I love Mountain Dew. We have Mountain Dew in the UK, but it's nothing like it is in the UK, in America. So straight away, had to go get my first jug of that and get that down. Love that, and I love the Minute Maid, but we was far too tired to be staying out for too long, so it was literally just a quick bite, a look around, and then back to the hotel for some rest, because on day number 2 it's off to the Superstore. Now, you may know I'm a massive fan of my collectibles. Love my collectibles, love my merchandise, and you can clearly see here the shop wasn't even open, and look at the queue. We was there for about an hour just to get into the shop and able to get some WrestleMania merchandise, and I did. I looked out, I got the bits I wanted, I got my Topps cards, I got my mini belts, but then we remembered, little hack from last year, that actually if you go down to the stadium, that it's not as busy down there. So we got a cab and ran ourselves down to the stadium just to check if that was the case again, and it was. The stadium itself was pretty much dead and empty, so it was able to get around, have a much quieter experience, be able to see things a little bit easier, and certainly check out the tills far quicker. Now, there were no official WWE shows on that night, but there was the Trish Stratus show, which we went to. Trish Stratus and Lillian Garcia doing a bit of a Q&A, which was really good, hearing some stories about an hour long, and then opportunities for photographs, autographs, all the usual sort of good stuff. No sort of introduction needed here. Anyone who's grown up watching the wrestling throughout the years will know exactly how good that experience was. Not only that, but we did manage as well to meet with Liv Morgan, the Royal Rumble winner, who'll be battling for the World Championship at Wrestlemania, so that was a nice little extra. But this was where it really happens. The next day we'll go to WWE World. Again, big collecting fan, so I love this sort of experience, being around all the memorabilia and merchandise across the years. I was surprised about how much Danhausen stuff was there. He was a big star of this sort of show, merchandise flying off the shelves. That was my bit. Zach prefers this because he loves a bit of the women's wrestling, and we sort of just went round and seen all the exhibits. But of course, still plenty of time to find some more memorabilia and merchandise, where there was a couple of new mini belts in stock, so I had to grab those as well. So the concerns of, is it living up to the expectations of last year? Absolutely it is. We're having a great time. We're having some Beerhausen. It's close enough. Come on, you can give me that one. But we went to Smackdown. Now, this is something we didn't do last year. We went to the Hall of Fame instead. So to mix it up, we went to Smackdown. And we went to the WrestleMania kickoff show. You find these a lot of the time. WWE having lots of little pop-up shows and talk shows and things. It literally takes over and engages the entire city. So if you are a wrestling fan, you haven't been to WrestleMania before, highly recommended. Smackdown, really enjoyed this one, actually. I managed to get a Mountain Dew, as always. And the show wasn't too bad, but tiredness was starting to kick in about halfway through this one, so it literally was Smackdown and then back to the hotel to get some sleep. And I'm not going to lie, this is quite a hard video to put together, and I'm really struggling with trying to capture how amazing the trip was. You'll see some celebrations coming up. We've got the witch, we've got the hobby horse. I've got plenty more of those to come later on in the video that just maybe symbolise some of the actual fun we had whilst out on the trip. But WrestleMania day number 1, you've always got to get down there early to get plenty of the free samples and to enjoy the atmosphere and all the pre-shows and entertainment that goes into it. Now, night 1 did get a lot of flack However, being there, I don't quite have the same vibe that the viewer may have at home, partly because people didn't like all the adverts that was in the show, but I think when you're there, you do appreciate a lot of things a little bit more, because I think when you watch on TV, it can disjoint things a little bit. When you see things like a moonsault through a table, it's like, well, I've seen that before, but when you're there, you get sort of full appreciation for the moment. Now, I'm not going to lie, things start to get a little bit silly, as they always do when me and Zach get together. However, we remembered, do not try this at home. So with my amazing view from the hotel room, we looked at the arena. Sunday, we didn't really do too much other than stay in bed and try and catch up on a little bit of sleep. But we did go to Mandalay Bay to the cocktail bar before going to WrestleMania. At the time, this felt like a really good idea. However, as the night went on, well, it got even sillier. Night 2, though, amazing night, probably the best night of the 2 WrestleManias by far. Really enjoyed every single match. Things kicking off amazing with the Brock Lesnar match and the retirement. The ladder match was out of this world. The main event was incredible. We got to whoop that trick. We got everything. Night 2 of WrestleMania, out of the 3 that I've been to so far, so 6 nights, I would say it was second, only bettered by WrestleMania 40 Night 2, that because the obvious reasons. That as night went on, we got about 8 cocktails in. Zach, being someone who traditionally doesn't normally have too much of a drink, and not having too much behind him, was starting to get a little bit tipsy at this point, to say the least. After 7 trips to the toilet, though, I thought that would be the end of the night, really, because we got ourselves home back to the hotel. Zach took a little bit longer because he wanted to do the Hoepfully walk all the way, conked out on the bed on the way in. So that's where you think this video is going to end, but it doesn't. I grabbed myself a hydration drink by Hoepfully. Guys, I turned down a cash sponsorship deal from these just to get more of their product. They are amazing. They did me well over there in the heat, certainly kept me hydrated, and the energy drinks are amazing. The flavours are superb. Check them out. I'll put a link down in the description. But somehow Zach managed to get himself out. We went out, we had a bit of time in the casino where we got absolutely royally beaten, and then went for some more celebration. We've got the pogo stick, we've got the skipping rope, we've got the rally driver or motorbike, and some of these get a bit silly, I won't put them all in. This was the sword that somehow turned into a gun as well. I don't know where that one came from. We got the waiting for a bus. Got a bit of everything going on here. Classic. But just like last year, despite the fact that Zach Housen can hit the ball a little bit further, he got beat at the golf royally once again. Edgar wins. Bosh. And if you haven't been to WrestleMania, you really do need to go. It's unbelievable. It takes over the entire city, especially when it's in a place like Las Vegas. It is unbelievable. I've also been to Philadelphia as well before. It just literally is a whole takeover. There's shows, there's pop-ups, there's all sorts of things. And just as quick as it goes up, it comes down as well. I laid up most of the night, actually, like a sad act, watching them take the stadium down, and I loved that. Went and grabbed a last little bit of merchandise before it was time to go home on the Tuesday, and it was kind of a sad experience, really, like when it's coming to an end. And trying to put this video together, I don't know if I've done it justice. How can you justify the greatest 6 days of all time in 8 minutes? I don't know if I have, but hopefully you've enjoyed the watch. Catch you soon.